Namaskar everyone. Today we are starting with our new topic, language and characteristics of language. Now it's futile to discuss what is a language because there is no such a definition what is a language. We cannot have a single definition what is a language because language has so many characteristics. So we'll see the characteristics of the language. First characteristic is a duality of patterning. Duality of patterning, it does mean there are two patterns. One, combination of sounds to make the words and combination of words to make the sentences. For example, the sounds P-O-T, pot, makes a word, three sounds. Same sounds if I rearrange like T-O-P, it will make another word, top. If I arrange in different way like O-T-P, it will have one-time password, OTP as acronym. So we combine the sounds to make the words, we recombine sounds to make different words, and then we recombine the words or we combine the words to make the sentences, or we recombine the words to make different sentences. For example, if I say teachers like students, so it's very simple example. If I say students like teachers, it will change the meaning. So I can recombine in various ways to make the different new words or different patterns. So that's what we say, duality of pattern. There are two patterns. One, sounds combined into words, words combined into sentences. Second characteristic is a creativity. With the help of number of or limited sounds, we can create lots of words or so many words with the help of existing sounds in the language. There are so many sounds in English, or in all the languages there are almost more than 80 sounds, but in English there are only 44 sounds. But with the help of 44 sounds, we can create the words which are never heard by anyone else in the language. So creativity is possible only to human beings and not possible to animals. Animals cannot create the sounds. They have only the limited sounds that exist in their own communication, but they cannot be recombined. So second characteristic is a creativity. And third, we can see arbitrariness. Now what is arbitrariness? There is no logical relationship between word and sound. For example, if I say a dog, and the animal and the word, there is no any logical relationship. Even dog is called in English kutta, in Hindi kutra, in Marathi, and there are so many different names for the same animal, and there is no logic why the animal is called dog. It would have been called with any other name like chair. Everybody would have said it is a chair. But there is no logic at all behind the pronunciation of word and spelling, and same way word and the object, there is no logic. Like why am I called a man? There is no logic. Why you are called you can say weavers? There is no logic. So every word doesn't have a logic in any language of the world. So arbitrariness is illogical. We cannot say there is a logic. We can say it is like this, so it is like this. When I say PUT is a put, but BUT is not a boot, because there is no logic at all. So let's move on to fourth characteristic is a displacement. Human being is an animal and can talk about any situation or anything happened in his life without being present in that context or that place. For example, I can talk about my school, though I am not present in the school. I can talk about my house, I am not in the house. I can talk about my university, though I am not in the university. I can talk about anything where I am not physically present. But animals cannot do it. Animals have to be present at the same time at the same place. So that is what you call the displacement. Displacing, so changing the place, still talking about that place. So human beings can talk about past, can talk about future, can talk about present plans, but animals can only communicate with what they have in their existing physical reality. Next one is what you can say redundancy. Redundancy, for example, from the sentence we can form the question like if I say he's a student, I can make a question like, is he a student? To form the sentence. Or I can make any kind of question like yes no question, WH question, and that's what you can say redundancy. And the last one is culture preservation and culture transmission is one of the characteristic where all the human beings they preserve the cultures and they transmit it to next generation, which is not happening with the animals. Animals cannot transfer their cultures to the next generations, but human being, I can transmit the laws, I can transmit the norms of my culture, I can transmit the traditions, customs of my culture to my next generation. So cultural transmission and cultural preservation is possible only through the language. Let's think of animal communications. Animal communication like honeybees. They will only communicate, they will make the sound, they will dance. But their sounds are limited and they can talk about only the real situation. They cannot talk about past, they cannot talk about imaginary world. Human being can talk about imaginary world, can talk about past, can talk about reality existing, or can talk about the place which he has not presently been there, so he can talk about. Last characteristic of a language is a dynamic, because language is a dynamic, it is not a fix, it changes every time, every year. The pronunciation or the spellings in the era of Elizabethan period is not presently. In those days the spelling was something like F-A-E-R-I-E for fairy, and now it's F-A-I-R-Y. Spellings keep on changing, meanings keep on changing, meanings keep on adding, deleting, and the words come into existence and they did or they die. For example, words like gramophone will not be existed after so many years. It is now dead. Even tape recorder will be dead after a few years. Radio will be dead after a few years. And there are lots of words. They change their meanings also. For example, the word mobile, it was existed in earlier also before the instrument, but the meaning was something like mobile is a not fixed, it's movable. When we say mobile Monday, it does mean the Monday which is not fixed, it's movable. So when I say mobile, it does mean movable. But right now when I say mobile it does mean a kind of instrument. It's the cell phone, what do you say today? So words keep on changing their meanings, pronunciations, spellings as we change the time. Okay, these were the characteristics of the languages. Let's see you in the next video with some of the linguistic data. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.